Hello, and welcome to episode 41 of Anime Territory. I am your host this week, Benjamin Shabbing, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Johnny Two-Ton Guillotine Ruha.
Two-Ton Guillotine?
Yeah.
Where's that from? I don't remember that.
It's one of somebody's moves. I forget who it was.
Oh, okay. But it wasn't one of Reigen's moves?
I don't think so.
Because his wouldn't sound that cool.
Yeah. This episode we'll be discussing the first season of Mob Psycho 100.
Yes, which is great. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say. I've seen this anime before. You have not. I've seen season 2 before. You have seen me watching
one episode
and being like, "What the hell is going on?" Because it was, and I was like,
"So background
amazingness is happening right now." I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, that's the background of why. One of the reasons why we watched this. First reason was just browsing Crunchyroll to see what to watch.
Yeah, because we were like, well, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Mob Psycho showed up, and I'm like, oh, I want to watch this.
Yeah. It's 13 episodes. We watched it in one day.
Yeah. Also, season 3 is coming out, I think, next season.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah.
At the very least. So, gotta get on that hype train now. While hopefully we can become relevant. We can't stay relevant.
No.
We have to become relevant first.
And then the other reason is because whenever season 2 came out, back when, you were watching it, and I was just in the room, and I watched some of it. I'm just like, this is awesome. What is this?
I don't remember the exact scene, but I know that crazy shit was happening, and it's like
there was one scene with Reigen and a bunch of psychics testing who the best was, and then there was a fight scene.
Okay,
that's what I remember.
You see, I don't remember much, and I don't want to say what I remember because it would be spoilers. But I remember liking season 2 probably a lot more than I liked season 1. Because I, if I'm being honest, I think I was a little underwhelmed when I watched season 1, but I was completely whelmed or overwhelmed whenever I watched season 2. So, but this time around, I think I liked it more than the first time I watched it. So that's...
Was it just less hype, or do you think...
I don't know. I just didn't have the expectations anymore. I was with you watching it too, so it wasn't just me in a vacuum.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
I was providing dialogue, funny commentary.
I don't know about that. Definitely commentary, but was it funny? Anytime Reigen would do something, I would look at you and be like, and we'd both be like, man, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
He quickly becomes the best character in this show.
He immediately is.
Well, at first you're like, this guy's taking advantage of this young kid. And he is.
That's true.
But then you're like, oh, but he's
I'm always
an adult?
I think I'm always a sucker for somebody just pretending to be really good at something.
He's really good at pretending.
Yes.
You should read...
But he's also kind of good at other stuff.
Yeah.
He's great at massages.
I wrote down he's an adult. Or I didn't write that down, but that's one of the things I wanted to touch on is that Reigen's power is that he's not a man-child.
That's true.
There's different types of man-children. Because I would call myself a man-child, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But not to the extent that I'm trying to take over the world with psychic powers.
Yeah.
There's just a moment where he's like, I get it. You guys are children. You can't just talk things out with children.
Yeah, Reigen's great. We'll talk about that later.
Yes. I like Mob a lot too.
Mob is cool.
Just because he makes me laugh. It's like, oh yeah, there he is, dying from jogging. How I relate. Though I never passed out.
No, I never passed out. I don't think we ran as much as him though.
I don't know. We ran quite a bit soccer conditioning for distance wise and stuff. So
I guess I just don't know how much distance they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought of it as I don't know, maybe 5 kilometers at most. Maybe not. Maybe more.
It's weird because they're like a bodybuilding club up there.
They're the body improvement club.
That's what Bic means.
Okay. We figured it out.
We figured it out.
You're before the show, a little peek behind the curtain here. Ben was like, why did I write down
BIC?
I thought you said big at first.
I said Bic.
I know you did.
Okay.
But I thought you said big at first. And I'm like, I don't know. Body Improvement Club, who are also great.
Yeah, those guys are great too. I guess what we're saying
is so supportive.
The show's pretty great. I had a lot of fun with the show. I think it's very fun. It's not perfect. There are some issues I have with it, but overall, it's just a good time.
Yeah, I guess we're doing spoiler-free feelings. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'd probably throw it in a 7 to 8 category. I don't know exactly. I think on my anime list, I rated it as a 6 or 7, but I rated it as a 7, and then I rated season 2 as an 8, and that might change. Okay. Who knows? I'm fickle.
See, I'm the opposite. It's 8.
Okay.
It's great. I like it.
So there's our ratings of it. I guess we can go more into spoilers. We talked a little light spoilers, but you want to talk about the author for just a little bit?
Sure, go ahead.
So the author of this
manga... I just know very little about the author, but go ahead.
So the author of this manga uses a pseudonym called One. I don't know his real name. I looked it up, and I'm like, I don't care. But he started... Well, One Punch Man was his first manga. Mm-hmm. And he had his own website that he would publish to it. And it was, like, very, like, rough drawings and, like, gag humor a lot in it. I mean, just think of the premise of One Punch Man, where it's like, okay, well,
It's very kind of similar.
Yeah.
In terms of an overpowered guy who just doesn't want to use his powers that much.
Yeah. But he is, like... And I looked this up because I didn't want to be insensitive. And he has come out and said, like, yeah, I get this. He's not a good artist like, whatsoever. The original web comics for One Punch Man are atrocious. If you've ever wondered, like, when you're watching the One Punch Man anime, how their, like, faces get all just, like, very undetailed and cartoonish, it's like, well, that's hearkening back to his style.
Gotcha.
So, like, the official One Punch Man manga is drawn by somebody else, but the original webcomic was his. So it's just like he's got that background of, I'm going to do it myself, and I got super popular to the point where it's become a real manga and an animes, and Mob Psycho. If we're talking just the anime... I'd probably go one. So here's my ranking.
Okay.
One from worst to best of all the seasons of anime that have come from One stuff. One Punch Man season 2, Mob Psycho 100 season 1, One Punch Man, and then it's either One Punch Man season 1 or Mob Psycho season 2 up at the top. Mm-hmm. Is the two best things that have anime wise that have come out of One's work. So I don't know. I just kind of like appreciate that story of like he wasn't publishing officially. It was his own website. It wasn't even like there are websites out there that publish like fan mangas and fan light novels and stuff that are actually like getting a lot of adaptations these days. But it's just like, nope, he is just publishing on his own website this gag manga, and it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have a name written down. It's just One. Just a pseudonym.
Yep. You may be able to find it on his Wikipedia page, but it's not that important. He's One.
No, he's One.
You don't go around asking what Cher's original name was. It's Cher.
I could look it up.
I don't want to know.
Okay.
I really don't care that much. Let's see. I mean, do you want to talk plot or you want to talk characters?
I feel like we usually do a pretty good job of doing plot when we do characters. So let's try to stick to characters.
Okay. So we got our basic boy. We got Mob.
Mob?
The most powerful psychic we've seen so far.
Yes.
Maybe. That one guy at
that
the
one
end
guy.
show. I didn't write his name down, but he is
Ginger kid.
Yeah, he's got potential.
Yeah.
I can't remember how big of a part he is in season 2, but you've got Mob with unbelievable psychic powers. He's got telekinesis. He's got barriers he can put up, and he can exorcise ghosts and yokai and demons and such. He works for our lovely boy, recent winner of like Best Anime Twink and Best Anime Dilf. Reigen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's a dad?
No, but he's like a dad.
Okay.
He's like I don't think he has any children, but in fact, I think somebody on the Mob Psycho subreddit was like, "What is?" It's like a comic where Mob is asking him what a dilf is, and it says it means I'm a dad. He's like, "You're a dad." It's like, "Well, I'm like a dad to you." It's like, "You're like a dad to me."
Really? It's more like a mentor.
But Reigen Arataka, who is a phony psychic, that when he's very good at convincing people that he's helping them with massages and salt.
Fake seances.
Fake seances, cold
Aromatherapy.
calling, aromatherapy.
Or he just has Mob fix it.
Or when it becomes serious, he just has Mob fix it. Then the next note I have is Mob loves milk.
That's a while into the show.
Yeah, I know. But I thought I need to write that down. Mob
First
loves
episode,
milk.
they go to the Ghost Stories tunnel and exorcise some demons.
Yep.
Or spirits that are in there.
Yep. There's a biker gang that are like, we're actually just lackeys for this other spirit. And the Mob goes and defeats the other spirit. It's like,
Before that, the spirit's like, you don't want to mess with that guy. He's like the most powerful spirit I've ever seen. Anybody who goes back there will surely die. And Mob just is just...
he must have went away. I didn't see him back there. It's like,
Or it's like, he wasn't that powerful.
Yeah.
Not powerful enough for you, Reigen.
Yeah. I'll deal with all the weak ones. Because Reigen's whole thing is like,
The whole thing is that Mob can see these like spirits and ghosts because he's a psychic. But Reigen can't, but he pretends he can. Or he makes the excuse of...
I'll just let you deal with all of the weak ones. It's training.
And he's also like, well, I can't see him because I'm so powerful.
Yeah, it's
They
like
don't register
it's like
to me.
noticing the bugs at
Yeah.
my feet. I know they don't register. And since everybody is small stuff to Mob, it works.
Mm-hmm.
And like Reigen's other thing is like, well, I'm not like a psychic in that I have telekinesis or anything like that. I'm just a spiritual psychic. I focus on spiritual things.
Yeah.
So, he's useless fighting against other people. But Reigen like imparts, something that Mob tries to live by. It's a very central focus of things is never use your psychic powers on people.
Correct.
And psychic powers are not the end-all be-all. It's just like being good at running or being smart or something. It's just another
Having psychic
facet.
powers doesn't make you better than anybody else.
Yeah, you're still just a human.
Mm-hmm.
And there are... Just like being Usain Bolt doesn't make you better than anybody else on like a spiritual level. Yeah. Obviously, he's better than us at running.
Yeah. And
probably sex. But...
I don't know, he's really fast. That might translate into the bedroom.
Maybe. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
But it doesn't mean that you're the best person in the world, sort of thing. So it's just like, oh yeah, he's actually like helping Mob quite a bit.
Yeah.
And Mob was also like a child when he met him. Because...
like Mob came in to get help because he was having these like... seeing ghosts and everything.
Yeah, he was seeing ghosts, and he was like traumatized because he lost control of his psychic powers and really hurt like a mugger or something.
And his brother.
And his brother as a consequence of it. So he's like, I've got to repress my emotions because if I lose control, bad shit will happen.
Yes.
And that's kind of like that's kind of, and you fell into this trap. The show wants you to like anticipate that hype moment of Mom's gonna go 100 or whatever and save the day. You keep anticipating that. Like there's a moment where you're like, oh shit, this guy's gonna get beat because Mom's getting angry or whatnot, and he did.
Yeah.
But like the whole point of the show is to lead up to the end where it's like, okay, now Mom's gonna go 100 and defeat these guys, and he's just like, oh no, I'm gonna go 100, faith in my master, and I'm not gonna lose control of my emotions, and it just kind of builds you up to expect one thing.
Well, he does it multiple times though.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
No, that's why I'm just saying, like the show conditions you.
The last episode you're talking about.
Yeah, the show conditions you to expect the 100 explosion because it sets it up. It keeps happening, and that's what keeps resolving things. But at the end, they trap you. They're like, oh no, this is not how things should be going. I should not be counting on this boy to lose control of his emotions. I should be applauding restraint and healthy processing of emotions. And then that's why they have Reigen save the day at the end. Really, Show saves the day at the end, the redhead, but but he's kind of like this guy's annoying me, I'm setting myself up as the next big antagonist, sort of saves the day at the end. So
it's like, we've had enough fun here, this guy isn't worth it.
Though I'll say, like, what I had written down here is true power comes from restraint, which is also because you just finished watching Steven Universe Future, and Lapis has that thing where she loses control and presses the other Lapises, and she's like, you thought that was powerful? No, that was weakness. Losing control is weakness. Restraint is powerful. Yeah. Which I think is another theme of the show, that again it conditions you to think this is what we want. We want him to lose control. And it's like, no, that's not a good thing.
It's cool, but
yeah, it's hype as hell. I get it, but you're not supposed to want it. This is a child.
It's true. All right,
hurting people. That's traumatizing enough.
Oh, he's hurting man children.
It's true. They're not really people at that point.
They're experts. They're not really people. Okay, who's the next character?
I've got Dimple. So we meet Dimple okay. Maybe, 5 episodes in? 4 episodes in?
He is 3rd episode.
3rd episode is Dimple.
Yeah.
So Mob is trying to get recruited into this Smile cult thing, along with Ichi Masato, who is a Salt Middle School newspaper reporter.
Yep.
With all the credibility that comes with.
Mm-hmm. I've watched enough anime. They're class act reporters.
Yeah. They're doing what the real news refuses to do. Like rumors of ghosts at schools. Anyway, and a homeless man who's down on his luck. Mm-hmm. And basically they're getting hypnotized to like smile and laugh, but it doesn't work on Mob just because he's
powerful psychic.
He's a powerful psychic who's been repressing his emotions, and he's like, I can't smile. And Dimple is the leader of this cult, challenges him to like some sort of
laughing contest.
Yeah, laughing contest. You have to drink this milk and not laugh. And he's like, shit, I've been conditioning all my followers to laugh all the time. They keep losing to him. I'll have to take him on myself. And like, instead of Mob leaving, he's like, Mob agrees to do it because Mob likes milk. But then he loses because the last milk when he faces Dimple is tainted by something.
Yeah.
But then he realizes like Dimple, shows his true self of being an evil spirit. So Mob's like, okay, thank God this person who's saying these terrible things, which he says like a trigger word of God, what is that? Get a Clue or
Something like that.
Something like that, which is what his crush, Tsubomi, read the room. Is that it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Something
along those lines.
2 days ago.
His crush, Tsubomi, said once when he was a kid, like when like people were like, Mom, why aren't you laughing? You not think I'm funny or whatnot? And he's like, oh, I thought it was funny. I just don't laugh. And she told him to read the room, and that traumatized him, I guess.
Oh.
But once he finds out Dimple is an evil spirit, he quickly exorcises him.
Mm-hmm. He goes 100, right?
Yes, I believe so. And then Dimple sort of survives, but much less powerful. A fragment of himself.
He's just like a little green ghost now.
Yeah, and he starts following Mob around, trying to be like, I'm reformed. Let me take over my partner. We can take over the world. It's like, what? No. I'll help you be popular or whatever. So Mob's like, well, I guess I'll give him another chance.
Harmless
He's
to
harmless. He's kind of like a flea. Which I think is basically when we meet Teruki Hanazawa.
Go on.
So there's gangs. There's middle school gangs all over the place. The Salt Middle School, which is where Mob goes.
That guy gets 4th billing on this? Jeez, okay. No.
He's an important character, Teruki. He shows up again. It's like the Vegeta.
Okay.
Or the Piccolo.
Like, I know what that means.
The the enemy turned sort of friend. So I guess more like Piccolo or Yamcha. Who's never quite as good as the main guy. So the gang, the Salt Middle School gang leader is Tenga Onigawara, who's beaten up this other middle school. I didn't write down because who cares?
Black Vinegar
Middle School's gang.
It's Black Vinegar versus Salt in Ankle Park.
And then Black Vinegar has to use their shadow leader, who is Teruki Hanazawa, who is another powerful Esper. Quickly defeats them.
Okay. I was thinking, I forgot that's his name. I wrote his name differently, so I'm like, who the heck is Teruki?
Did you write Teru?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because he basically goes by Teru.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down their full names. But Onigawara is like, I'm going to get the Body Improvement Club, the dopest guys in Salt Middle School who look like buff-ass college students, but they're in middle school.
These guys are in middle school?
Yeah. They are going to... We're going to enlist them. And they're like, what? No, fighting is for losers.
Yeah.
This is all about health.
Yes.
So instead, he sets them up. He kidnaps Mob, and then...
Tenga does that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tenga Onigawara kidnaps Mob, takes him to Ankle Park, leaves a note. Well, he convinces Mob to show up at Ankle Park by writing him a love note that says, I am a girl. Meet me here or something. And Dimple is like, that's obviously a trap. He's like, yeah, but I wouldn't want to make, if it was a girl, I wouldn't want to make her feel bad.
Yes.
So he goes. He also sends a note to the Body Improvement Club, pretending to be the Black Vinegar Middle School, saying we've captured Mob. And then he sends a note to the Black Vinegar Middle School telling them to come fight them or
want to
whatever.
fight?
Yeah. So Black Vinegar shows up. They take the bait and kidnap Mob.
Yep.
And then the Body Improvement Club shows up. And then Teru makes short work of them.
Yep.
And but then Mob is like, hey, you shouldn't use your psychic powers on people. And he's like, what? And Mob just shows off that he also has psychic powers by untying the rope tied around him. And then so he's like, okay, well, we need to fight. And Mob's like, no, I don't want to. So he keeps
avoiding, dodging.
Yeah, trying not to use his powers on him until eventually he becomes unconscious.
Yeah.
And goes %, and
survival mode.
Yeah, utterly unconsciously tears the school asunder. And then when he wakes back up and it's like, oh man, what have I done? He just puts it all back again perfectly.
The one thing he couldn't put back together was Teru's hair.
Yeah, he accidentally cuts off Teru's hair. Because Teru's like throwing knives at him and he just kind of like repulses them away. And some of them just happen to cut him bald, but still growing on the sides.
Yeah.
Teru, I guess, is like, I think I'm out of my league.
Yeah, Teru
gotta
just
go think about
realizes
things.
he's average.
Yeah. And then he's like, I gotta go think about things and get a wig.
Yeah.
A really big Marge Simpson wig.
That was a wig?
Yeah. He was scared about the wind blowing it off one time.
Marge Simpson wig.
Well, Marge doesn't wear a wig.
Yeah.
She has, you know why she's got hair so big, right?
What?
It's to hide rabbit ears.
Oh. Is that the rumor?
Well, so that was an intended thing that they decided to scrap. And they're like, no, this is going somewhere. We want them to be real people. But in one of the arcade games, the Simpsons arcade games, you can get electrocuted. And when you get electrocuted as Marge, you can see like her skeleton has bunny ears.
Interesting.
So, she was originally intended to have them underneath her hair, but it was scrapped.
Gotcha.
I think it was a good choice to scrap that. But interesting Simpsons fact there. Let's see.
Tenga shows up, or Teru shows up later.
Yeah, he shows up later. But we kind of focus on the next character we can talk about on my list, which is Ritsu Kageyama, which Mob's real name is Shigeo Kageyama.
Yes.
Ritsu is part of the student council.
A year younger than
he's
Mob.
a year younger than Mob. He's always looked up to Mob, been jealous of his psychic powers and wishes that he had them. But he's also like charismatic and smart and good at sports. So he's everything that Mob's not.
Yes.
And that makes him mad because he's always wanted psychic powers like his brother.
He's always jealous of.
He's also, it's revealed, been kind of scared of his brother.
Yeah.
Because of when he lost control. It's like, I couldn't argue with my sibling.
Yeah.
Because if my sibling lost control, I could die.
Yes.
So I've always had to be this, supportive younger brother type character, loving.
We were never able to fight as kids because he could kill me if it got too far.
Yeah. But he gets recruited by a sketchy looking guy outside of school who thinks that he is his brother. Mm-hmm. He's investigating rumors of a psychic, and he goes to try to recruit him, and then he turns out the shady character is just some rich guy who loves psychic people.
Yeah.
And he's got an institute to try to study them. They've got a couple of other psychic people whose names I didn't bother writing down. There's a guy who can sort of make a fire on his finger.
Yeah, barely.
There's a guy who can sort of bend a spoon sometimes. There's two brothers that can communicate telepathically with each other, sort of. And
then there's a girl who's clairvoyant.
Yeah, right, but she's right 67% of the time.
Yeah.
That might get better. Mm-hmm. But
he knows his brother, so he's just like, yeah, these people are a joke.
These people are scrubs, but not as scrub as I am, who can't do anything. Mm-hmm. But then, in his... he's trying to bend a spoon. He goes back home. He's trying to bend a spoon at night, and he's frustrated, and I guess this is technically after this. He's pressured by the student council president to frame Tenga Onigawara for what do you call it? For
licking recorders.
Yeah, for licking girls' recorders and stuff. Meanwhile, Tenga has been trying to make good with the Body Improvement Club, and they're like, we can make something of you.
Yes.
And then let's go running.
We'll make a man out of you.
Yeah. So they're he's completely there's no way he could have
Yeah.
done what they accused him of doing because he was with the Body Improvement Club the whole time.
The whole point is just like...
But the whole point was people didn't necessarily want proof. They didn't like the guy anyway.
Yeah.
So they jumped on it as soon as they could. But that, like, guilt and, like...
They were also doing it to, like, every delinquent in the school as well.
Yeah,
so.
they were, trying to frame them. And that guilt and frustration from doing a bad thing, where he's also just like, I'm fine with this. I've made peace with the fact that I'm a terrible person now. Mm-hmm. That sort of finally unlocked his psychic powers.
Yes.
Because he, like, throws a spoon down in frustration, thinking, I can't do this. And then Dimple, who's been hanging around, is like, oh, you can see me now. You do have psychic powers. Look at that spoon, and it's bent all to hell. Mm-hmm. You just don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
So he and Dimple
start
to team up, because Dimple can kind of control the psychic energy coming out of him better. Yeah. But he's not strong enough to actually possess him, which was his intention. He's like, shit, I can't possess this guy.
Oh well.
Because he's also been destroyed by Teru in that fight. And he brought himself back from particles. He pulled himself back together, but he's even weaker than he was before that fight. Let's see. But yeah, Ritsu eventually is like, oh, why frame people when I can just go and fight people? They mistake him for the shadow leader of Salt Middle School. Yeah. White Tea Poison.
White Tea Poison, that's his...
which is actually their name for Mob. But nobody knows
what he looks like.
What Mob looks like, because Teru is the only one there and he's not really been around.
Yeah.
So he gets in a bunch of fights. Eventually, Teru, like, sees him on the street and
it's like,
their first meeting is outside of that clinic, and he gives him like a handshake measuring of their power just to show him, like, I'm still leagues ahead of you in this. And he's like, shit, there are... I'm not... Mob and I aren't the only ones out here. I'm not... But he's still not Mob. It like his one consolation, yeah. I think. But the second time he sees that... it's like, okay, I need to get Mob's help because this guy is getting out of control, fighting these...
Ritsu's getting out of control.
Yeah. Mob shows up and he's like, Nissan, what's going on here? Can't remember who calls who Nissan and Ritsu or whatever they call each other. But Teru's like, all right, I'm a bounce because I'm not going to get, in the middle of these brothers or whatever. They thought, like, well, maybe we can team up or whatnot. But after Teru leaves... one of the, I don't even remember, one of the scars of some organization whose name I don't know.
The organization is Claw, but I don't know the guy's name.
Yeah, I didn't write him down. I don't care. He's a man-child. Mm-hmm. He shows up to basically, like,
kidnap.
He's been tied. Yeah, he thinks that is... Mob again, because he's going off of the data they stole from the research
academy, institute.
Yeah, his compatriot has also went ahead and kidnapped the useless Esper people, and stolen all their data or whatnot. His job is to grab him, who's more powerful. He easily outpowers Ritsu. He has a harder time outpowering Mob. In fact, he can't, but he is tough. He does survive a lot of Mob's attacks at 100%. And he ultimately uses like a spray, a curse spray or something to knock him out. And then his, it's like Mob just stands up. He's like, shit, I gotta go. And just takes Ritsu and runs off. And then at that point, Teru is back. And Mom was like, we gotta go get my brother. Dimple will join us. They get ambushed by another Scar. But no, they don't really get ambushed. They basically ambush him. They beat him quickly because he underestimates them.
Yeah, they send
him
to...
They torture him to get information, and the guy folds immediately. And they're like, nah, there's no way he'd fold immediately. He's planting false information.
Dump
the guy's
him
like,
again.
why would I? I can't tell you any more true things. I've already revealed everything. So then they use then they go to their secret hideout.
Yeah.
They fight off a bunch of people. Dimple possesses an unconscious guard so that he can actually be helpful. The scrubs are easy to deal with at the organization. The scars are a little bit harder.
There's
Ritsu and the
other psychic.
They mount an escape.
Scrub psychics.
Yeah, the scrub psychics mount an escape.
Mm-hmm.
Mob only loses because one of the guys' psychic power is to have you hallucinate fears and stuff. So he was like very amped up and was like hallucinating, killing his brother accidentally with his powers, which like caused like his self-defense mechanisms with his psychic powers caused the other guy to also collapse from it because it was very traumatic for him and therefore also very traumatic for the guy that he's retaliating against. So that they get put in. Ritsu gets stopped by Sho, who is another like seeming member of Claw, but from the main office instead of this branch.
Mm-hmm.
So all three of them kind of wake up in this like psychic vacuum room. Mm-hmm. Dimple gets captured by a guy whose ability is like raising spirits and stuff, and he gets put in a jar of 99 other spirits that are gonna all like ravenous and fight to the death.
They gotta fight to the death.
Fight to the death and eat each other, and whoever comes out is gonna be his
champion or
his
whatever.
champion. So they're all captured. Meanwhile, Reigen just shows up, and like people just mistake him for the boss.
I forget why he's
tracking Mob's cell phone. He's like, Mob, if you're not going to show up, you at least give me a call. It's not like you. So he's tracking his cell phone.
He's tracking his cell phone. I forgot how
he shows up, and it's just like everyone mistakes him for the boss because of just his attitude.
They're expecting the boss to be coming because somebody told them that they were. So they're just like, oh, he's the boss.
Yeah. And his air of confidence, and everyone, not all of the non-scars just believe that it is. Well, and he's just like, you guys, you can't be holding children hostage. What the hell, dude?
Like, what are you guys doing this? Come on now.
This is wrong.
You guys can't be kidnapping children.
And they're like, the boss is such a good guy. You're right. But then eventually they meet up with the leader of the branch, and the scars are like, that's not the boss. It's like,
the boss. Oh.
Eventually,
it's like
they're trying to mount an escape.
Reigen like releases Ritsu, Teru, and Mob from that vacuum just because they thought he was the boss.
Yeah,
so they get out. Then they fight the remaining.
Yeah, they fight the remaining scars and the leader of the branch, and the Reigen realizes like, we're just gonna need to talk this out, clear up this misunderstanding. He's like, oh wait a minute, these are man children. Why are you wearing those shoulder pads? Why would you need to protect your shoulder pads? You're just a child playing dress up.
Is that a foam sword?
It's a plastic sword.
Why are you wearing a mask?
And Reigen realizes that Mob's been hurting people with his powers, and he's like, Mob, running is always an option. Don't feel like you're pressured into hurting people. Don't believe this. And everyone else is like, we're gonna die.
This is self-defense.
His brother is captured and all that. We should really let Mob fight. He's the only one who can do anything. And Mob just like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm running away. 100% run away. And then which translates to confidence in his master. And so Reigen just all of a sudden has Mob psychic powers for a while. Yeah. He beats everybody. The final guy comes back up and it's just like, Mob, we could use any more of those powers? He's like, I'm kind of out too, tapped out. So, but that's when Sho saves the day and rescues them. He shows some sort of interest in Ritsu as far as like because like he calls, apparently his dad is the leader of Claw, and it's like, yeah, there's nobody there. That branch is destroyed. Nobody was worth our time there. However, few interesting prospects that we can run into, and I think he's alluding to Ritsu because he's the one who like captured Ritsu.
Yeah, he has an interest in Ritsu for some reason.
Yeah, Ritsu's a powerful psychic in his own right. He's just not Mob. He's not our boy.
Yeah,
he's not our lovely boy. But I mean, that's the plot of the show.
Yeah, that's what happens.
It went mostly off of memory. I needed your help with a little bit of things. Oh, I should mention a couple of points that we missed. Before we meet the Body Improvement Club, we meet the Telepathy Club, which is just people pretending to be a club to utilize the school budget allotted to clubs to like buy snacks and stuff. The leader is genuinely interested in telepathy, but has had no leads and therefore
kind of just doesn't do anything.
Kind of become lethargic about it. But when she realizes that Mob has psychic powers, it's like, yes,
we can contact aliens now.
You can help me achieve my dream of using telepathy to contact aliens. And they're like, will you join our club? And Mob's like, I got a job. I don't really want to join a club. It's like, please just think about it.
We need another member, or else we'll lose our
or lose our club status because somebody left the club. They have
the club status. They just lose the room.
Well, they lose the room because they lose club status. Okay. They can be like a
group or whatever.
They can be like a group, but they won't get allotted a budget because there's not enough students to really start a club.
I gotcha.
Eventually, though, Mob does not join them because he meets the Body Improvement Club and he decides that that's his dream. He realizes psychic powers don't make you popular and he wants to ask his crush out. And the last thing he remembers is her being impressed by somebody who was really fast.
Yeah.
So instead he follows his dream and he doesn't waste his youth and joins the Body Improvement Club instead. But the Body Improvement Club is like, we really just needed to store weights and stuff. You guys can still use the room. And they're like, yes, thank you, Body Improvement Club. We bow down to you.
This Mob is absolutely awful. He just passes out every time.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like
Mob passed out again.
The one time when he's not like at 100%, where he has real facial expressions, is him exhausted trying to run. Meanwhile, the Body Improvement Club is like the nicest, buffest dudes ever. It's like that meme of the buff guys on computers helping out the scrawny nerd friend of theirs.
I don't think I've seen that one.
You've not seen that?
I don't think so.
I'll have to show it to you. It's an interesting one. It's just like, this is what men should be. There's no toxic masculinity here. No. It's just health.
You just like being fit.
Yeah. Eventually, Tenga sort of joins the Body Improvement Club. We talked about that a bit, but I think he's technically an official member right now.
Yeah, I guess.
He stopped going to school for a while, which it was weird. He's just like, oh yeah, no, this guy actually does pay attention in class and cares about being on time for a delinquent. Like, he had a perfect record until he was shamed out of the classroom.
That and it's like they were interviewing the class when they were pretending to like come across this scheme of him licking recorders or whatever. He's just like, am I late? Oh, sweet, the teacher's not here. I don't lose my perfect attendance record.
And then
I don't think he's like skipping school. I think he's just like hanging out in the Body Improvement Club because he has nowhere else to go.
Yeah. And the Body Improvement Club's like, you gotta go back to school. I think he goes back eventually once things kind of get cleared up. The student council president had his own issues that he was dealing with. And when he got like demolished by a gang, he's like, I think I'm kind of done with this. And Ritsu is being heartless at that point because he hasn't reconciled with Mob yet. And he's just like, no, I mean, these are the consequences.
Yeah.
And then that's when Ritsu starts fighting a lot. Because he's just like, oh yeah, this is cathartic. This is what I've been missing. This is so much fun. He learns the error of his ways. Mm-hmm. He like tells off Mob at some point, and Mob's like, I know that half of what you just said is true. Like, you do feel these things, but I know you're still my loving brother. Like, I know that's not an entire act, even if part of it is. The only other thing I have is Mob's crush's name is Tsubomi. Tomei Kurata is the telepathy club president.
Okay.
We talked about Ichi Misato. Ichi, I don't like that name, but Ichi, I-C-H-I.
Who's that?
That's the reporter girl who's like also trying to like get a scoop from Mob or Ritsu or something about some psychic powers and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, we're done talking about plot. We gave our rankings. Talked a little bit about themes, being an adult, restraint, that sort of stuff. Reigen is best boy. Do we want to do all aboard?
We can do all aboard.
Or do you want to do... I mean, I just said Reigen is best boy. There's not really a best girl, I would say. Maybe...
It's the fighting chick.
Oh, okay. the Scar that uses her psychic powers to have like chi abilities and be a good fighter or something. Sure. That's the adult, so we'll go with that. Okay, so I've got 6 ships that we can talk about for our next section.
Okay, go for it. 'Cause I don't really have a ship.
So we've got basic.
Okay.
We've got Mob with Tsubomi. That's what he wants.
That's what he wants. That's not what we're getting.
Yeah, we're not getting that from the
That
show.
ship has sunk.
She's the only character that has like a non-one art style. Like she looks like a real anime girl as opposed to a character from a one manga.
Yeah.
We've got Mob with Telepathy Club president Tomei Kurata. They sort of go on a date looking for other psychics. I think she calls it a date at one point, but it's just them sitting on a bench and
trying to find.
Be like, look at that guy with weird hair. It's like, is he a psychic? No, I don't care.
That guy's a psychic.
I'm not going to tell you about him though, because I'm getting a malevolent aura from an adult psychic. And then we've got Mob with the reporter, Ichi Misato.
Okay.
Which I don't know.
That one
I like that one, but it's there's not much there. I'll try to if there's anything in season 2.
There's not much in any of these, honestly.
But it's like these are girls that are showing an interest in Mob, so therefore ship exists. Okay. So there's the basic 3 ships. Then we've got Mob and Teru as a ship.
Okay.
As like, I respect you, and like. I feel like there is a certain demographic that would love that ship.
I think Taro likes that ship.
Yes, I do think Taro sort of likes that ship. He's like, I want to be friends with Mob.
Yeah.
I want to be on his good side.
Maybe his bad side, if you know what I mean.
Okay, all right. Then we've got some... Oh, and then we've got Teru and Ritsu as a sort of thing.
Okay.
Because he's like, they have like that fateful meeting where he's just like, he's sort of watching out for him.
Gotcha.
There's a possibility there, and then possibly my favorite ship.
Okay. Which
is the president of the Body Improvement Club, Goda Musashi, and the delinquent Tinga Onigawara.
That's a good one. I like that one.
It's just like, man, those guys are gonna be bros. I can just tell.
My ship was just like the entire Body Improvement Club.
The Body Improvement Club is they're just a poly.
They just make like a huge Megazord Body Improvement Club ship.
Okay. Oh god, that reminds me. Did you see Big Ben's tweet? So wait, you're telling me that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost all together are one mega god? Zord. Whatever, I can't remember his this thing. I'm like, yes, 100%. That's how that works.
I'm trying to think of any other ships. You have
ooh, I've got a 7th.
Okay.
Mob and Milk. It's not.
I don't know why that's gross. Monk. I don't know why that's gross to me. Also, I learned today.
Mob loves milk.
Snakes
That's
is high up on Monk's list.
Snakes is high up on Monk's list. Okay. When are we ever going to release the one episode of the Monk podcast we recorded like 6 months ago?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm just lazy.
The spoilers. We've got one episode of a Monk podcast in the can. Coming out eventually or never. Who knows?
What else? There's another show. What about Ritsu and the clairvoyance girl?
Oh yeah, she likes Ritsu because he's competent in every way possible.
Kind of hot.
Yeah, Ritsu is kind of hot. Feels a little one-sided.
Yeah.
I also don't remember her name. I didn't write it down. I didn't write down any of those psychics' names. Can we ship Reigen with anybody other than everybody?
No, I don't want to ship him with everybody. That'd be creepy.
Anybody. Sorry, not everybody, but anybody.
Okay.
Anybody that's not a
him
child.
And Dimple, maybe?
Oh, we should note that he has enough psychic powers from the remnant of when Mob gave him psychic powers to see Dimple.
Yeah.
And therefore probably see other spirits at this point. So,
okay.
It might become an important plot point. I don't know, but he can interact with Dimple, which could lead to an interesting dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if I were to pick one, I'm going to say it's Mob and the Reporter.
Okay.
I like that one.
You like that one more than Goda Musashi and Tenga Onigawara?
Oh, no, you're right. That one's better.
If we're talking mob ships, then that's the best mob ship out there. Other than maybe Mob and Teru.
I like that one too.
And then, but if we're going like, this is something I can get behind. Full steam ahead. All aboard. Go to Musashi.
No life jackets. We're on here for the ride.
This boat is a go-fast boat, as they're called. Speedboat.
Speedboat.
It's the Titanic. It can't sink.
I don't think that's how that works.
Okay. I mean, we're at like 50 minutes, 51 minutes. I don't really have much else to say, perchance.
No.
We're going to cover season 2 next.
Probably, yeah. That would probably be our next episode.
Okay.
And then we'll probably do a couple endings.
Yeah, the season will be the summer season will be ending soon, so we
got
might
a couple shows that we want to review, and then after that, we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe regular episode or a special episode, Sunny Boy special features.
Oh yeah, we're doing that.
We're doing that eventually.
Don't know when.
Don't know when. Don't know if it's a regular episode or a special episode. Probably a regular episode, counting how many times we come close to the wire and getting something ready. And our mismatched
That'll
schedules.
probably be a regular episode, because we'll probably talk about it for like 2 hours.
I don't know if I have that in me. I don't know if I've got another 2 hours of Sunny Boy talk. How long was our first episode of Sunny Boy?
It was over 2 hours.
Yeah. We gotta have some sort of angle where we watch the special features with Rowie or something who's never seen the show.
I mean, we could try, but I don't know.
It'd be weird. I mean, you want me to just start going through the plug chain here?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, so we stream sometimes. I stream Gloomhaven almost every week, though this week and last week are no-goes, just scheduling things and me being tired one day. But I stream every week, Tuesdays or Wednesdays, with my friend Matt. We play Gloomhaven. Ben and I stream occasionally, though it's been a while. I mean, did you buy that box of Magic cards?
Yeah.
So you want to open those on stream?
That was the plan, I think.
Okay, so we'll be opening up a box of Dominaria United, splitting the packs half and half on stream at some point.
I bought a bundle too.
Okay.
Just I like the box.
Okay. Yeah, I need more boxes like that. Okay. I need more deck boxes too. That's the thing.
You can't find deck boxes. The only deck boxes they make now are basically just like your 100-card commander decks.
Yeah, they're huge ones.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
This.
I need one that I can fit like 60 to 80 cards in.
Yeah.
And 60 with a little wiggle room is what I need.
Mm-hmm. They just don't make them anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame. So we'll be opening up those. I mean, we beat Chrono Trigger, and so it's your turn to pick a game. because that's not really how we work. But
Yeah.
you can pick a game for our next stream if you want.
I'll just see what our capabilities are. I got a couple ideas.
Sometimes I stream with my friend Bo. So far, it's just been versus streams, and then we'll like play a game co-op, but then we'll end or start with a versus match against each other, which I have yet to lose. So I, of course, am cocky as hell to him every time we talk about it. So that's our stream, twitch.tv/DementedGoku. You can catch our stream archives. They get uploaded eventually to our YouTube, which is where you can also find this podcast every fortnight at Anime Territory. We are the ones with a picture of a cityscape.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow us on Twitter at anime_territory. I typically remember to post the links to the episodes, unless I think it's an episode nobody cares about.
I don't follow us. That's a lie, I do.
You're one of our 5 followers, Ben. We might be up to 9 now.
Ooh.
And you can find us on podcast platforms as Anime Territory. So stuff like Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Just about anywhere you can find your local podcasts.
Just about. Anchor is where we host them, so for sure on Anchor. We don't get a lot of those because I only ever post the YouTube video when I'm sharing it on places.
Gotcha.
You can join
Probably
the I-Fi Dragons Discord, and I'm chatting in there every once in a while.
All right, that's enough plugs.
Okay. Anything else we need to say?
No.
All right. Then you are now leaving the Anime Territory.
Goodbye.